Let's start with the speech itself. What kind of policy was laid out and how was it received?
Well, everything under the sun. He mentioned migration, security, proposals as well to change the seasonal clock changing. He also mentioned proposals to reduce plastics. And as always to the State of the Union speech, there was a mixed bag of reactions. Now, members of the European Parliament, their job is, of course, to criticise Jean-Claude Juncker and keep him on his toes. And they criticised everything in that speech yesterday, from his plans to stave off nationalism to his plans for the EU migration policy, as well as his plans for the future budget for the coming 7 years. They, quite frankly, are never pleased because obviously MEPs are representing all the corners of Europe. They all have different interests and different political affiliations. And then when it comes to member states, well, they're always fearing that Juncker will try to engage in a power grab. But just yesterday, we saw the Austrian presidency, that's the current Austrian presidency residing over the European Union, address this and welcome the speech, especially his proposals for EU migration and beefing up Frontex, the EU border police control.
And Juncker has only a few months left in his presidency. Concretely, what can he achieve in so little time?
Well, he's a long to-do list. He mentioned some of those points yesterday. He wants to ratify the EU-Japan trade deal. He also wants to see measures about cross-border terrorism being signed off on. He wants to see all that done as soon as possible. But he also wants to see more unity, he said, in the European Union. He said yesterday he feels the European Commission is always a scapegoat and he needs member states to come on board in order for the EU to be more functioning. He said that Europe should be playing a better role in the global world, replacing perhaps the role that the US has left behind since this Trump administration has come into place. But the problem really with yesterday's speech is it showed that Jean-Claude Juncker is really out of touch with reality. He said, the European Union and Europe is the love of my life, and one can understand why he loves Europe, but he didn't strike a chord with fishermen, farmers, students and people looking from all across the European Union for solutions and to feel more EU in their pocket.